We all know William Shakespeare, the most famous author of all time. But what if I told you Shakespeare never wrote a single word?
Cells, all listening to the writings of one man, the ideas of one man. That's power, Robert!
Since when did words ever win a kingdom?
Leave that to me.
I just discovered an interesting tidbit interviewing Roland that you'd originally auditioned for the William Shakespeare part.
Well, no, I went to meet Roland in London and I read the script and was, thrilled by it, but there was no kind of specific part that I was offered, and I said to Roland, if you were a lazy, traditional director, I guess the obvious choice would be for me to play Shakespeare, the drunk, illiterate actor. But I said, but if you were courageous and brave, I'd like to read for Edward de Vere, the author of these works, and thank God Roland was courageous and brave enough to give me, that opportunity. Yeah.
I didn't know that story.
Yeah.
That's a brilliant story.
Well, I think he did a good job casting Rafe Spall, actually, because I think his performance is absolutely incredible, magnificent.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah, that's my follow-up question, because there's so much intrigue and salaciousness going on in this story, and you're playing the younger Elizabeth and you're playing de Vere. I mean, this is a great ensemble piece, as it goes between time. Talk about working with each other or working with the other actors, and what was it like on set, especially with Roland?
Well, I had a great time. I got to work with Jamie Campbell-Bower and David Thewlis mostly, and I like both of them enormously. Roland is just like a complete bundle of energy. He was in to use an American term, in his bliss. This was his pet project. He just seemed to bounce around and be younger than the rest of us. 80 nowadays, forget it. He was still just completely enthused, and his enthusiasm spread to us. But what about you? I want to know seriously, what was it like working with Mum? Because we didn't
work together, but I mean, just to reiterate what Jolie said, I think Roland, as well as his many other skills, but he is a brilliant caster. He cast. I mean, I was very flattered that he cast Jamie as the younger me. I mean, I was no way that good looking when I was his age. But there was a real ensemble feeling, and I guess because it was populated completely, I guess, by British actors who are kind of embedded in a theatrical tradition, so the ensemble comes very easy to us, very naturally, and there was that joyous feeling of collectively telling a story, throughout the whole project, and Roland was instrumental in assembling this mischievous circus of players.
And it was somewhat of a circus. I mean, I remember one day I wasn't actually working, but maybe I had a costume fitting or something. We were in Berlin, where they'd completely reconstructed the globe, and Mark Rylance and all the actors were doing their scenes out to the audience, so there were a ton of extras. And I remember creeping backstage to where the camera was just to see how it looked, and it was an event. It was a real event, like a concert. It was so exciting.
Well, let me get your opinion on this. My English teacher in high school was one of these Stratfordians, saying, oh, this story isn't true, they're besmirching Shakespeare. And there's a really hardcore group of Shakespearean people who are really against this idea. Have you guys gotten any blowback from that? I'm so curious.
Just go and see the film, because I would say to any Stratfordian that there is no evidence as to, I'm sure Roland and John might disagree, but we will never know precisely who penned this body of work. The important thing is that this body of work was penned, and it is our duty as actors, directors, and spectators to ask the question: who may have done this? And each proposition illuminates the plays in a different way. In the case of de Vere, the plays become innately more political and more present historically and socially, and then some of them become love letters to a queen. That's the enduring power of whoever of these plays, is that we will forever revisit them, and so it's healthy, it's fresh air to ask that question.
It really is, and bigger picture, the thing that I don't get is that it's a celebration of Shakespeare. It's got more people talking about it again, and discussing it and debate. So it is bigger picture, a total celebration of Shakespeare's work, whoever was the man that penned them.